Hello everyone, welcome to Ecofletion. Today we are discussing very important topic in economics, that is law of demand. So let's begin. Demand. What is demand? A quantity of a good or service that consumer are willing and able to purchase at a various prices during a given period of time. Quantity of good that quantity of good or services that consumer are willing and able. These are very important keywords. Willing and able. We have desire for many things in the market, but we doesn't have the ability to pay it or willingness to buy it. This is not the demand. The demand requires desire plus ability to pay plus willingness to pay. If these three things are together, then that is demand. Which are the determinants of demand? Let's see. First one, price of that commodity. Price of that commodity matters a lot in determining a demand. When price falls, demand rises. When price rises, demand falls. So price of commodity matters a lot. Second one, price of related commodity. Related commodity in the sense complementary goods or substitute goods. Complementary goods have positive relation between them, and substitute goods have negative relation between them. Third one, income. Income of consumer also determines demand. When income of consumer rises, he also demand a lot. If income of consumer falls, he demand less. So income of consumer matters. Fourth one, taste and preferences of consumer. Taste and preferences in the sense habits, likes, dislikes affects the demand and other various factors. Let's see law of demand. What is law of demand? Other things being equal, if the price of commodity falls, the quantity demanded of it will rise, and if the price of commodity rises, the quantity demanded will decline. Thus, there is an inverse relation between the price and quantity demanded. That is the law of demand. When price of commodity falls, the quantity demanded of it will rise, and if price of commodity rise, quantity demanded will decline. So there is inverse relation. In simple words, price rises, demand falls, and when demand price falls, demand rises. That is the basic law of demand. Now let's see law of demand according to Professor Alfred Marshall. The greater the amount to be sold, the smaller must be the price at which it is offered in order that it may find purchasers, or in other words, the amount demanded increases with fall in price and diminishes with rise in price. Amount demanded increases with fall in price and diminishes with rise in price. That is the law of demand according to Professor Alfred Marshall. Demand schedule. What is demand schedule? Demand schedule is to understand the relation between quantity demanded of commodity and price using hypothetical data. So it is just understanding the relation between them. Here is one example. In this table there is 5 scenario A, B, C, D and E, price 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, and quantity demanded 100, 150, 200, 350 and 600. So in this table price falls, and as price falls we can see the demand is rising. At price 50 the quantity demanded is 100, at 40 150, at 30 200, at 20 350, at 10 600. So the lowest the price, the highest the quantity demand, then the highest the price, the lowest the quantity demanded. That is the demand schedule. Now let's see demand curve. What is demand curve? Demand curve is just the graphical representation of that hypothetical data we are discussing in demand schedule. In the demand schedule, when price of commodity is 50, the quantity demanded is 100, when 40, 150, when 30, 200, when 20, 350, and when 10, 600. So here are the points we have drawn. Now let's connect all the points. We will get our demand curve. This is the demand curve. This is the demand curve of that our hypothetical data. The demand curve slopes downward. There are many reasons for that slope of demand curve. Why demand curve slopes downward? The basic reason for it is the inverse relation between price and quantity demanded. That's why the demand curve slopes downward. And this is the individual's demand. Market demand. What is market demand? Market demand is just a demand demanded by more than one consumer. So this is market demand, demand of whole market. So there is price, there is three consumers A, B, C, and total market demand. To get total market demand, we have to sum A, B, and C's demand. So we will get total market demand. So price of our price 50, 40, 30, 20, and 10. The A, B, and C have their own quantity demanded. The total market demand is 21, 25, 49, 83, and 50. As we did earlier, we will draw the total market demand and price intersection points. We will point them. These are the points. Now, as we did earlier, we are going to draw a market demand curve. For this curve, we have pointed out the points at 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Let's connect them. So this is our demand curve, market demand curve. This is also slopes downward. Reasons for downward slope of demand curve. So what are the reasons for downward slope of demand curve? The first one is law of diminishing marginal utility. What is law of diminishing marginal utility, that we will discuss in our further videos. But basically, people will buy more quantity of goods at a lower price. That is basic law of demand, and rational consumer will not pay for lesser satisfaction. Next one, income effect. What is income effect? Fall in price of good will increase the purchasing power of a consumer. If price of goods falls, the consumer's purchasing power will automatically increases. He can buy less or more. That is his choice. So consumer consumer can buy lesser of that goods, or consumer can shift to another good. Third one, substitution effect. Substitution effect means price of commodity falls, it become relatively cheaper than other commodities. It When price of commodity falls, it became relatively cheaper than other commodities. It includes the consumer to substitute the commodity. So consumer will shift from one commodity to that cheaper commodity. So that's why quantity demanded of it will rise. So there is inverse relation. An arrival of new consumers. When price falls, the new consumers arrives. Let's see limitations. What are the limitations to law of demand? Law of demand doesn't apply here. First one, luxurious goods. Luxury goods are goods which is basically demanded by the rich people to show their class or to show prestige to society. When price rises of that good, demand also rises. These goods are goods which are particularly used to show off in a society. The basic logic is when price rises, the prestige also rises. Second one, Giffen goods. What are Giffen goods? This Sir Robert Giffen has defined the Giffen goods by observing the workers in that factory. When price of bread increases, then workers also buying it. So when price of goods increases, then workers are also buying that bread. So what is the reason? What is the Giffen goods? We will discuss that in our further videos. Third one, necessary goods. Necessary goods are necessaries which we will need to live our life. Doesn't matter what the price falls or rises. That doesn't matter. These are the essentials for life, like salt, food, water. When price of salt rises, if we can't afford, then also we have to buy it. So rise in price doesn't affect here. Fourth one, the future expectations. Future expectations, some people worried about future prices of commodities. In future it will rise, so let's buy it today. So that's why they buy these goods. Thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe the Ecofletion. Thank you.